And it's a little invasive. Alright. Welcome everybody. We are live. Zenith Online Racing back for round 4 of Tier 1. We are in Italy this week at Monza. We'll be staying in Italy next week for Imola. But this week we take on the legendary Monza circuit. Jeanette with a stranglehold on the championship right now, looking to extend that lead tonight. See if he can get it done. Yeah, that's a rating. I also don't need the tire info up. I suppose we could check it in a bit, but for now we'll get this other stuff up there. Yeah, I am Arbiga, your usual commentator for Monday, and flying solo tonight. No GP. He's called in sick on a Monday. Classic. So, looking forward to the next hour and a half, roughly. We usually wrap up around 9:15, 9:30. And we got 15 cars today. So Villeneuve, the only reserve driver, everybody else full-time. So everybody else will be qualifying. Villeneuve will not. Jet you out on track. Hi, buddy. Feels different, huh? Trim my beard and he's touching it a lot. I think he's investigating the new feel of it. Buddy. Anyways, this is a racing stream, not a cat cuddling stream, so. So I gotta go find the live stream. I think we're good. Fix those live streams. Sorry, just one of our drivers was logged into our YouTube account here. I'm just double checking that everything's good on that end. Yeah, it looks like we're good. Our stream is live and still running, so gotta get everybody onto the right one. Should be okay though. Anyway, we're on board with Jetju. We have been on board with Jetju for quite a while. He's on his flyer. Looks like he's pulling off now, letting someone else go. So I'm not sure who that would have been. Alfa Romeo. There's only one of them today. Let's say going through. He's invalidated. It's like a lot of invalid laps at the moment. Smoglis goes P1. Nice job from Zem there. Getting a solid banker lap up. I guess fucking air in my mouth. Yeah. I guess I should check the tires. Let's see, everybody is on inters, okay. Sam is trying really hard to cut that final edge there and nearly invalidated his lap, but I think he's okay. Actually, his lap didn't count. What was that? Maybe it was already invalid? Here comes Adri through Ascari. Beautiful view on the left shoulder. He navigates a very slippery Ascari chicane and does a decent job on the power. It's a good shot through there. We need to get some more on board through Ascari for this qualifying session. Grab a couple of them. Somebody's gone around. Looks like it could be a Williams or a Red Bull, perhaps. Yeah, Red Bull. Adri into P5. So Zamoglis just. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Carson's just as out Zamoglis, but Carson had beat him by about a second. Oh, somebody backwards here. It's Lunar. So Seye takes over top spot, 26.8 for Seye. And Carson, 27.7. Spot up, 28.1. Zem, 28.7. So a fair bit of field spread here. Generally, everybody's been very competitive with one another. The times have been really close for all the races so far. So I'd expect qualifying in the wet will shake that up a little bit. We're probably not going to see, you know, the usual suspects right up at the top, or there might be a little bit more variance in the order because of the wet track, but that could make for an interesting race if we do have some slower guys at the front or faster guys at the back, stuff like that. So could be in for a pretty interesting evening here. Moglis on his second hot lap to see what he can do. He set the pace the first time around. We'll see if he can improve and get up to near where Seye is. At the very least, maybe get into P2. He goes P3, so Carson's still with the edge on Zem. Let's see what Carson can do. Carson not pushing at the moment. Spot up. Just started a flyer. So let's ride on board with spot up triples. Doing a flying lap here, and we'll see what he can do. Long sweeping curve. And it's a little tricky chicane here. This spot is very dicey with usually on the race starts, that corner can be pretty bad. Then you've got the Lesmos here, 1 and 2. High DNF rate through here over the last game cycle. The snapping car that you couldn't catch, you'd lose the back end, the car would fly off, and the walls are right there, so there was really no getting out of it once you lost it through there. But it's probably a little easier to control this year. People are actually able to catch the car when it snaps, but in the wet, that definitely is still a very, very tricky set of corners. Big improvement for spot up, 27.1, so very nice lap there. Let's find another driver. Check out what RC's doing. He's a second up. He's coming through the long curve. I don't know if he's on a push lap though. He might be just on a cool down. I'm just checking on my dinner here. I've had to make food tonight. I didn't have time to eat it. so looks cooked. Just gonna leave it in there. I'm just washing my hands, sorry. But yeah, the food looks cooked. I'm gonna leave it in there just so I can heat it up as soon as I'm done the race here. Get some dinner in me. Also, bear with me tonight if I'm a little out of it. Very tired. A late night last night and worked all day, so definitely on a little low on sleep today, so. And then having to carry the stream myself tonight, and I'm as tired as I've been, and God knows how long, so. RC with a really good lap, though, 27.6. Very competitive. Oh. Nearly lost the car there. Wreck diver up to P2. 27 flat for him. And say has about 2/10 cushion. Guys behind are putting some pressure on. Jinnit has just finished a lap. He is up to P4 now. See a few guys getting a fresh set of tires on, heading out of the pits now as well. I wonder if the rain, it doesn't really look like it's going to let up. I mean, we've got 7 minutes in qualifying left. I doubt that the Inters won't be the best tire all the way through here. If I were in the pits at the moment, I'd be fueling up to run about 3 laps right to the end of the session here. And if you mess up on one, you just kind of shut down and start charging the battery again, right? And then you can get 2 full runs at the end or whatever the case. I'm not sure if Sniper is pushing. He's gone very deep there. It's not going to be a great lap. He's just fighting the car through that corner. We can pick up somebody a little further along. Mercedes driver. Lunar. Not pushing. On up with the white Ferrari, didn't it? I think it's not pushing either. Okay. Now, if you guys heading into the pits, if you guys on their way out of the pits, I'm checking with some Moglis here. He's invalidated. I don't know if he's on a push lap right now anyways. Yeah, not a great lap from Sniper. I'm not sure he was pushing all the way through there. He did have that mistake early on. Oh, Adri locks the rears. So he's botched that run. Say with the 26.8 still. Lunar now at the 26.9. So drivers are getting closer to Say. If he doesn't improve, he could be in danger of losing that pole. You see Gord's car. Very odd slide there. If that's something to do with the brake bias. Jinnit should be pushing still. Maybe he's heading into the pits this lap. Could probably pit and get 2 laps in if he was to get a fresh set now. Gonna stay out. And that's a really solid lap from Jinnit. Up on the provisional pole, 26.5. Very nice lap time. Pressure's on Say now to perform. Say does have a purple sector. He's up 3/10. Oof, 3/10 would put him just ahead of Jinnit. Just marginally ahead. So he really can't afford to make a mistake in the final corner here. Looks smooth on the entry. Gets on the power a little early. Has to lift just a touch to keep it in the lines, but it's just a really solid lap from Say, and that will hit him back on provisional pole. So up 2/10 on Jinnit. Sniper Did get a good lap time in finally. He's got a 26.9 on the board. So he just finished that lap. Carson going slow, just letting somebody through. RC pushing, he's up 5/10. I'm going to put him up to P4 potentially if he can keep this pace. Oh, very deep through there, but he keeps it legal. A little desperate on the power there, but kept the wheels spinning in the right direction. Good lap time from RC. Andrew tucks in behind. Here we go. Wreck Diver just crossed the line, jumps up to P3. Jennett's in the pits now. Gonna go for probably one final lap. Just left the pits, so yeah, he will have time for that one final run. Wreck Diver up to P3, Lunar in P4, Sniper 5th, Gord 6th, Spot up 7th, Carson 8th, so a couple of the front runners in the championship a little out of position at the moment. Gord and Carson, they want to be up there with Jinnit and Say if they want to remain in the title picture a little longer this season. So see if we can get an improvement for either of those guys. Gord on an outlap. Carson is on a push, not up much though. Demagos out, looks like he lost it through the second Lesmo. Andrew's out. He lost it through the second Lesmo as well. Stricken car with no ghosting is not great. So this is it for Carson. He needs a big lap here. Jinnit did not improve his lap time. Looks like he's done. I guess he didn't get across the line in time. Must have been what happened. Big jump for Carson, up to P4. That's much better. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Puts him ahead of Gord, and he's in striking distance of Say and Jinnit. He'll start right behind Jinnit. Wreck Diver will be slightly to his left. Say ahead of him on that left side as well. I think I'm assuming on the left anyway. I don't know who gets prior. What side? I don't think what side pole is on. How many safety cars tonight? I'm gonna say 2, just because of the walls being so close to the track. That's it for qualifying. Carson P4. Been on board with him for the last minute or two of the session. And C8 takes pole. Jinnit P2. Rick Diver is third. Carson is fifth. Sorry, Carson is fourth. Gord is fifth. Lunar 6th. Sniper 7th. Spot Up 8th. Sam's 9th. RC is 10th. Adri 11th. Simoglis is 12th. Fuck's sakes. What did I do? Simoglis is 12th. Jetju 13th. Quanmator 14th. And Villeneuve, the reserve, will start at the back. P15. Quanmator did not run a lap. Interesting. I don't know why that was. Okay, I will say that does look like potential wet weather. Probably a dry start, but I would not suspect that this race will be dry to the end here. Very good chance we're going to see some rain. I haven't even had any wine yet. I'm so tired I am. I have to be a responsible adult and finish my water first. Oh. I don't have any wine left. Okay. Well, that explains a lot. That explains it. Alright, well, let's use the washroom quickly, fill up get a nice ice water, and we'll be back in a minute. Sounds like some cars starting. Alright. Here we go. Looks okay. I would say it's like, I don't know, overcast, maybe? It's not too bad. So, it's probably a chance of rain. I'm not sure how likely that is, but it doesn't look as bad as I thought it did. a look at the strategy as soon as I get my ice. Shouldn't say the strategy, but what tires people are on. God knows what is going to happen here, but should be a quick race too. It's a pretty short lap. There's only 27 of them. It's a pretty fast lap, so probably not going to be too long tonight. It's what, 8:28. Say probably be done. Say with safety cars, let's say 9:12. The race ends. 9:12. Put your predictions in. Tires, telemetry off. I don't need it. Okay, so everyone's on mediums except for Sam, who's on softs, and Villeneuve on hards. So I'm guessing medium hard is the strategy here. Say 10 laps, medium, 17 hard. Seems to add up. And Sam maybe thinking he can get those hards to go about 24 laps, maybe pit on lap 8, something like that. Sorry, not lap 8. I was thinking if you can get the hards to go 20, you can pit on lap 10. Or lap 7. That's not too bad. Alright. Grid is reformed. We're ready to go racing here. It's round 4 of Tier 1. We're in Monza this week. Let's get those lights fired up. 3, 4, 5 lights on. And we are racing. Looks like a good start for Jinnit. Off the line well. He's going to have a really nice run into turn 1 here. He's got to go for it. Cannot let Say get ahead. Or should I say get away. Turn 1, and there's the collision. No ghosting, obviously, so a few people tangled up in that. RC right to the back of the grid. I mean, RC, if he didn't have shit luck, he'd have none at all. I'll tell you that much. Zem gets a good start. He's putting some pressure on. Wreck Diver has a look at Carson, who's not quite there. Can Zem get that done? Zem and Adri going wheel to wheel. Adri hangs on to it. Nice racing from Adri and Zem on lap 1 here. Get back to the front. Jinnit is lining up Say. I was going to say, you can let Say stay ahead, but you don't want him to get away. So Jinnit, I thought it would be maybe more... It's starting to rain already. I see raindrops. If I'm not mistaken, it is raining. I swear I saw rain. Someone in the chat tell me I'm not crazy. There we go. This is where it gets interesting. The top 5 all within 0.2 of each other. I mean, sign me up for more of this, please. Say has the fastest lap. Jinnit now with the slipstream and probably a little bit better top speed does get the move done. Say trying to hang on. He's got Carson having a look, and they've touched. Carson with a little wobble. The other guys behind all react nicely. Everybody gets through cleanly, but Say, not sure if Carson really had any business sticking his nose in where he did, but Say did not leave him much room either, so maybe a little more of a racing incident than anything, but nothing terrible happened either way. I mean, there's no major damage or anybody's, seriously out or anything along those lines. Did someone else just crash back there, or was that just a glitch? I think Zem had a moment at the back, but the visual of some other car, it looked like flying off the road, but I think we're okay. Lunar behind the wreck here. Wreck trying to hang on to Gord in front of him. So it's top 5 sort of doing a little accordion thing right now. It seems they're kind of just fluctuating in those gaps, in and out a bit. Here comes Sniper getting in the mix too, so now the top 6 all fighting for the podium spots here. I think Jinnit's got a pretty comfortable lead already. I don't think anyone's going to go be hunting him down, but See a right behind Jinnit there. Sorry, say the car behind Jinnit. He's not right behind him. It's a little ways off. He's got a... Jinnit's probably comfortable at the moment. I wouldn't say he's too worried. I think if Seiya can't keep up, then the rest of these guys are going to get stuck behind Seiya, and that clears the path for Jinnit. So right around here is where I thought I saw a raindrop. Maybe not, but it sure looks like... I mean, if I were to see raindrops on the screen, it wouldn't be surprising. The weather definitely looks gray. I wonder if we did shift into like more of a rain weather. More of a rainy weather situation here rather than just overcast, but we'll see. So Gord here in P4, he's trying to hang on to Carson for that final podium spot, but he's got Wreck Diver and Lunar. And here comes Carson having a look at Say. I did not realize he got so close. Say must just not have the top speed, or he didn't get a run out of the last corner. Whatever the case, Say under serious pressure here. He's hanging on for the moment. Carson seems to have him. Gord has held Wreck behind. Carson and Say swapping places again, and Carson locked up a little bit there. Probably just needed to make sure he didn't get into the back of that Alfa Romeo right in front of him. Wreck Diver, Lunar, Sniper getting a little frustrated with Gord here. They want to get by him. Gord not falling off the front runners too badly, but definitely not closing on them. So these guys behind feeling like they might be a little quicker, probably want to put some pressure on Gord to get through. Carson, he's right on Seiya here. Seiya did a good job hanging on to that. I think he's going to be in trouble here with the DRS coming up, but see if Seiya's got anything left in the tank to defend. Really, really good start to the race so far. Jinnit, I wouldn't say is running away with it or anything, but he's pretty cozy at the moment. I think if Carson gets through, he might be a problem for Jinnit. I'm not sure how much management Jinnit's doing. Maybe ask him that at the end of the race if we get to talk to him. Oh, and there's a big wobble for Carson. Does get it done. It's a little clumsy on the exit there, so just getting himself sorted. And here comes a Lunar Jedi down the inside on Gord. And he's got it done. So Lunar up into P5 now. Sniper, the odd man out. He joined this party late, and he's just kind of stuck at the back there. Sam on the soft tires, 3.2 off this group, so he's in a good spot to start closing. He'd also be in a very good spot if he pits, so I think he's got clear air to work with, and he'll gain on the front runners by closing that gap with these softs, and if he pits, will be able to pull a really nice big undercut while these guys are all scrapping. So we'll keep an eye on Sam in the race, see if his strategy pays off. He's one of the only guys doing something different, so perhaps the weather played an impact, like he thought maybe I can take the softs far enough to get on wets, but maybe that's why everybody else is on mediums. They know it's going to start raining in the first 10 laps or something like that. Seiya switches back to P2. Carson a little susceptible with the DRS there. Can't really do much. Looks like Jinnit had a moment. He's lost a little bit of time to these guys. He's okay. Maybe just a 10th though, so nothing serious, but oh, Carson locks those rears. Something he's going to have to be careful of while he's in this battle. I mean, it's a very easy way to get tangled or caught up in a crash. You walk up into the driver in front, or someone behind runs into you because you are slower out of a corner than you should be. Stuff like that, pretty easy to get caught up in. I'm really liking this battle right now. This is excellent. This is for P2. Jinnit not far up the road, but the scrap for P2 is keeping Jinnit in a cushy spot. We got a scrap going on for P6 as well, so Really, all the front runners in a nice battle. Further down the field, the gaps are not enormous, but they're large enough that we're not getting overtake maneuvers or anything like that to keep an eye on. So maybe later in the race we can check in on those guys. But for now, we got plenty to watch at the front as Carson now gets back in front of Seye. Yep, and Rex going to have something to say about this as well. He's getting involved, and there's a safety car. So someone's lost it. Kilometer's out. We have a safety car. That brings Zem back into play, so good on him for sticking it out. I know it sometimes can be frustrating. You just want to park it after a bad start, but he'll be right back in the mix on a fresh set of hards now. So safety car, not sure if any of these guys need to give any spots back or anything along those lines, but they were battling wheel to wheel when the safety car was declared, so something possibly could have happened. I haven't seen anything though, so imagine we're all good. So Carson, Wreck Diver, I mean, honestly, Wreck Diver kind of got robbed by the safety car there, because I think he was going to get Seye. He was in a spot to potentially get Seye, and it would have helped Carson a lot, freed him up. Zem's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. I mean, I have to say I don't like that move. I like him putting the softs on though. I just like just the speeding. It's like you're trying to basically he's trying to like erase any deficit he had from what's occurred for his race so far. Anybody gonna stay out is what I'm curious. Nobody. Not a single soul. Sam has to pit. It'd be stupid not to. But no, I don't want to stay it out. So this is where like nailing your pit stop can pay off. You get held up in traffic. You know what? We have that. We have the unsafe release thing on though, so that people don't get held in the pit box the entire time. And I do think that this is a situation. Villeneuve into the lead. Interesting. Why? Huh. I don't know why he let Jinnit through. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. But the unsafe release, like, will let you, it'll release you into other cars, and then they'll kind of just sort whoever was in front. So it's more fair, I think, personally, like, just because we can. Like, you know how crappy it would feel if you're the first car in and you get boxed in by the entire pit lane coming in behind you? Like, in that sense, that's just where the angle came from to decide to use that feature. Just so it's kind of like, you're going to leave when your pit stop's done. You're not going to get held in your spot. Because the game is so poor logistically, you might get held way longer than you should. So Jinnit did get out in front of Villeneuve, it looks like. Now that's going to help him kind of rebuild the cushion he had, but I don't suspect that any of these drivers right behind Villeneuve will have a hard time getting in front of him. This thing always drove me nuts about guys under the safety car too. Why are you so bloody close to each other? Like, give a little bit of space. You're not racing, and you got guys that are nearly wheel to wheel. It like always infuriated me, where it's like you're gonna cause a collision or get tangled in something you don't need to because you're just way too close to each other at the moment. Spread out a little bit. Goddamn fools. Oh yeah, I'm crazy. Ice water. I drank all my wine on Saturday, and I forgot that I drank all the wine. And like I fully was thinking I had like half a bottle in the fridge, and it was like, oh, I got nothing. So yeah, it's ice water tonight. Probably a good thing, honestly. I'm not in the greatest shape today. Just tired, and yeah, the good weekend. I drank a lot this weekend, so I probably shouldn't do it for a third night. Anyways. Yeah, I definitely thought I saw rain at the start, though. I thought I saw, like, a drop come down. I suppose I could have. So Villeneuve looks like he just got out of the way here. I wonder if we are restarting. Not yet. So, Sam's gone to mediums. Don't like it. Jet-Ju, softs, Sam softs. I don't know why. I'm wondering if they're just thinking, yeah, there'll be another safety car, I'll get away with this, but to me, that's a little weird. I would think it'd be best to get on a tire that you can try and stretch to the end, at least the medium. Like, Sam has a chance, but not a great chance, so there could be rain. I'm not 100% sure that we're going to get it. It doesn't look like, over here, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. Looks like clear in the distance, but the middle part of the track, it definitely looks a little darker there, so it's definitely in the air. It's definitely possible, but at this point of the race, I think you have to kind of do what tire makes sense instead of gambling on things that might happen or could happen. To be fair, I haven't seen a weather radar, so I couldn't really tell you, but Jinnett has kind of botched this restart, and he's under serious pressure from Carson here. What the hell happened? How did Carson get such a good jump on Jinnett? Jinnett trying to put the squeeze on there, not enjoying that at all. And did Carson get him? He did. Oh, man, like I said, Carson could be a problem. I did not think it was going to be that quick, but figured if Carson got ahead of Say, he definitely would put some pressure on Jinnett. Jinnett's got to look back around the outside. Can he get it done? They touch. And Say sneaks through. Jinnett is, I mean, I don't think anything was wrong with that. Definitely hard racing. Putting the squeeze on wreck. So that little chicane they went through, the first part of it, Jinnett, I think, was too close to the inside of the apex there. Like, to the point where Carson didn't really have a good line. But through the second part of the corner, I think Jinnett left enough room. Carson just by default ended up on that outside off the track. But I don't think, like, the way Jinnett was traveling through the corner, that there was any way he could have left more room. And it looked like he moved over as soon as he could once he got the car through the turn. So nothing really wrong with that, I don't think. I could see Carson feeling a little peeved by it. Perhaps filing an incident report. I wouldn't be surprised to see one, but I don't know if there's really anything in that. It did allow Say to sneak through, though, so it really messed with Jinnett's race, and it came off worse for Carson. Carson ended up the worse off from that, so argument to be made. Jinnett will say, well, Lunar's out, so we've lost another car. We have a VSC this time. Okay. How do you do that? What a bizarre place to stop the car. I wonder if he hit somebody else? A little odd. Jinnett needs to be careful here. You do not want to get a drive-through penalty. Any of these top guys getting a drive-through penalty would be tragic, because we're going to lose somebody from a great battle. What he needs to hope is that Say is trying to test the limits of the VSC too much and ends up giving up too much ground. Actually, that worked out well for Jinnett. He got a nice gap, and he's got a good run on Say here. He's going to close this up. DRS is enabled right away. So I guess Jinnett doesn't have DRS yet. Probably missed the detection point, but Gordon Villeneuve pit, and they were probably trying to get the advantage of the VSC pit stop, but that's not going to work out for either of them now. So can Jinnett restore the lead he had? It was comfortable. It wasn't a huge margin, but he looked like he had it in control. Say snuck through while him and Carson were squabbling. Carson now out of reach of the race lead, but still looking at a podium spot just ahead. I'm sure he'll get himself sorted out and start to close back in once he gets the confidence back under him. Maybe just trying to get the tires settled down after the battling he had there. RC has made a move on, Jet Juice made a move on RC, it looks like. Here comes Jinnett with the DRS. Say just gonna park it right in the center of the road and make Jinnett go the hard way. Oh, and that's a loud wreck through. Oh my goodness, man. That's such a clumsy corner to be racing wheel to wheel. So, I don't think Jinnett did anything wrong there. To me, Jinnett's just going to let Say try and make a mess of this, perhaps. I'm not really sure. Didn't look like he was fighting that too hard. But the way where Jinnett was on the track, the way he had to take the corner, Say did not, Say tried to, turn in to, squeeze, but he was behind, so Jinnett kind of just, thumped him. Yeah, weird one. But again, Jinnett's literally, on the curb as he's making his turn. So there's really nowhere he could have gone, and of course, at that point, it's going to have a worse turning radius, right? So Say was a bit optimistic turning in where he did. He was probably a little optimistic, thinking that Jinnett wasn't going to be right there. But so Say is going to have DRS here, and so will Jinnett. So could we have another double overtake for the race lead here? Jinnett's looking, and he's just going to tuck in. So now I wonder if Jinnett's champion brain kicked in a bit here. Maybe he's thinking, you know what, this couple dicey little moves there with those guys, and he ends up in a barrier and loses 25 points to them rather than 4. So maybe Jinnett just tone him back a touch, get his car under him, and he's going to maybe take a look, or if he could just sit comfortably behind these two and just harvest battery, he could definitely put in one real strong lap and get the moves done. So he's methodical, Jinnett, and he'll be thinking about some kind of way to checkmate these guys. Or he'll just blow the doors off him and send it. You just never really know what you're going to get. But I think with the lead he has in the championship, you can't do anything stupid. Say and Carson are right there in the title hunt, and they're right beside you on track. Just one just ahead, one just behind. So you take yourself out of the race, they're gaining a lot on you when you could basically... Oh, Carson. Oh, my goodness. That was brutal. I don't know what he was thinking there. Snipers cut the corner. That's basically taking Jinnit out of contention for the race win. So, the way I see that was that Jinnit... Okay, so Jinnit... Carson's thinking, Jinnit doesn't think I'm going to try this. And it looked like Jinnit was just kind of content to chill. Like he was going to just kind of settle himself down and chill there. Carson maybe saw the door open and thought, I'm going to go for it. I think by the time he put himself in a position to be entitled for space, Jinnit was kind of already like in his maneuver for the turn, like where he was on track with there not being a car there. Like, you know, I don't know, I think it's like so fractional there. Like you can't expect Jinnit to just suddenly not turn at the last second into the apex. Yeah, I think Carson just thought maybe he could get away with one there, and it did not work out that way. Maybe, yeah, that's possible. Carson maybe did outbrake himself and just kind of ended up having to go beside Jinnit because he would have run into the back of him otherwise. I don't think Jinnit did anything aggressive, though. Nothing terribly aggressive. Zem's out. That's a VSC. So now Jinnit in a position... You know what? If I'm Jinnit, I'm pitting for mediums or something here. Try and do something different. See what the front runners do, but it looks like Zamaglis and someone else got caught up in it. Vilna, perhaps. Yeah, I would say Jinnit. Yeah, Jinnit was probably aggressive, but I wouldn't say he was like reckless or anything. Like he was like kind of what I expect from him at this point. Like I don't think he really like if you asked me to place a bet on whether Jinnit's getting a penalty tonight or not, I'm putting it on no. Like I don't think he did anything wrong today. I imagine he's fuming now, though, because there's no reason at all that he should be... There's no reason at all that he should have been in a position like this, for the way he was driving. Like, Carson should not have tried that move. It was... I don't know if it was intentional, or like you said, maybe missed a breaking point, but... Carson should not have been there, and I don't think it was really on Jinnit for turning into him. I think Jinnit's... Probably by the time he's turning the wheel is when Carson suddenly appears, right? So, it was a weird one. It's a full safety car now. I don't know where we lost Spot up, but he's out. So, full safety car, everybody pitting the softs. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Because that's not Carson behavior. Like, I was like, I've never seen him make a worse move in my life. Like, it was so poor that, yeah. Now, once you said he maybe missed his breaking point, I was like, actually makes a little more sense because, like you said, you're either going to run into the back of the guy or, I don't know, I mean, it did not... It ended in a poor result anyway, but, yeah, I don't know. Jinnit gets away with it now because the safety car. And so does Carson, kind of. I can see Carson getting... I mean, Carson probably gets a penalty for that. I mean... You know, he probably did the right thing in the moment, but obviously, like, you still caused a collision that was avoidable because you missed your braking point, so... It's probably just, like, sort of your basic minimum penalty, cut and dry type thing. But yeah, I would say, like, there was probably one corner where Jinnit looked like he maybe didn't leave enough room. Mind you, it was a chicane, so, like, those are terrible corners to be side by side with somebody, and the guy who's ahead or defending the position, of course, is going to argue, like, well, I'm not going to just give it to him because he's there, right? So, I would say, at this point, I don't think anybody that I've seen, I don't think I've seen anything worth penalizing. I've seen things in the past that looked like they were sure penalties, and then you see them again finally, and you're like, oh, that actually wasn't that bad. It's just sometimes hard to tell in the live moment, right, with the angles we're working with here. Sometimes they're not great, so there's definitely times where I've had it completely wrong, but I don't think Jinnit was racing hard for sure, and I think he was a little... He was definitely feeling like he needed to kind of like assert his position in that point because he was getting attacked by a lot of drivers. But yeah, at this point, I don't think there was nothing wrong was done. I mean, certainly there's no like victim. Like, I mean, someone maybe got squeezed on a corner at worst, right? But nobody's out of the race here, so. Anyways, safety car is in, so we got a Say Wreck, Jinnit podium at the moment, Carson, Sniper, Jet Jew, all in striking distance, hoping to make do some damage here. Sniper could be a dark horse podium guy. Been hanging around that front pack all day, and now he's right there again. He's carrying that penalty, though. That's going to hurt him. So Say leading the field. He's going to punch it when he's ready. Probably just going to wait to catch somebody napping behind. And I think he's done it. Jinnit was just waiting to make sure he was on the power early. Looks like, again, Carson's got Jinnit on the restart here. It's just, I don't know if he's just not getting out of that corner right. Maybe the cold tires is being a little more cautious than the other guys who feel like they have to make an impact tonight. Carson now is sending it down the inside. Tried it again. Ugh. It did not look like Jinnit was going to give him any space if he was still there. So probably a good thing Carson wasn't. But yeah, Jinnit's on the charge here. He's looking forward, not behind. You have to forgive my voice here. I'm starting to lose it a bit. Concert last night, and now having to do the stream solo, so I'm pretty much using up all voice that I have left, and it's getting really dry. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm coughing or clearing my throat a little bit. So Jinnit's got a nice gap to Carson behind. He's got rid of him for now. Put that problem on the back burner. He's focused on getting back to the front here. Jinnit, he's got a Wreck Diver. Is he going to get Say as well? He's looking, but not there. So Wreck Diver for now. Well, Wreck Diver, really nice exit out of that corner, and he's right back on the outside of Jinnit here. Just tucks in. Okay, so Wreck Diver probably thinking this is one of the better races I've had in a while. Maybe I should just play this smart, not risk losing a podium. Jinnit will race you wheel to wheel if you tempt him, so he's always kind of one of those guys. If you know he's quicker than you, just don't push your luck. And who knows, Rectiver could even get Say here if Jenna gets a nice run. So could put Say in a weird spot, and then all of a sudden Rex can sneak through. That's something he needs to keep in mind. Yeah, Sniper lingering in the background. He's closed it up. He's got Carson and Jet Jew behind him. And here comes Mr. Jinnit. DRS is enabled. I don't think anybody has it right now, though. Jinnit just tucks in for the time being, not gonna do anything risky. Carson on the back of Sniper trying to get something done. We got Adri and Jetju. RC having a nice little battle behind. On board with RC. Gets a really good exit. Looks like Jetju did not get a good exit, and Gord sneaks through. So Gord doing a nice job getting through the field here. Here comes Jinnit. Wants to bring home another dub for the Ferrari team in Monza. And there we go. Jinnit with the DRS now. Right on the gearbox to say he should be helpless here. I can't imagine he's got anything left to fight that with. And here comes Carson, or sorry, Rec having a look. I think Carson was in the Alpha or Aston last year, so like flashback to that. So no move from Rec on Say, but Jinnit does go through. Sam taking a look at Adri in the background there. See Sniper putting pressure on Carson. Carson's back in front of Sniper. Wreck all over Say here. This Say could be susceptible here. Be good news for Jinnit if he can get himself away from these two. Adri and Sniper swapping places now. Adri up another spot. So P5 for Adri currently. No move again from Rack, but we got some action behind. Sniper and Adri going wheel to wheel. There's a bit of contact. It's a little clumsy through the... Oh, my goodness. A bit of a clumsy rejoin from Adri as well, so Villeneuve did well to avoid that. But yeah, Sniper and Adri come together. That was a weird one. That looked like a locking of the wheels. They're both in really weird spots as they were trying to straighten themselves out. But the initial turn, like the first part of the chicane, looked okay. They looked like they were just kind of trying to give each other a little bit of space. Say is all over Jinnit now. What happened? Thought Jinnit would be getting away, but it's not so fast. Say is still threatening. Wreckdiver trying to hang on to these two. Say sends it down the inside. Gets it done. RC and Gord are having an epic scrap here. Sam up to P5. Shame about Adri and Sniper. They kind of took each other off the road there and both worse off from it. I mean, could you ask for anything better than this? Got 3 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. We got Sage, Jinnit, and Rek all within 2.5 tenths of one another, fighting for a win. I mean, for Wreck Diver, he's just waiting to clean up the scraps here. Just waiting to pounce on a win that, you know, most weeks people wouldn't really put him in the category for a race win, but he's right behind Say and Jinnit, who are usually well ahead. And really, if he times it right, he could just make that move at the perfect time and get it done. Alright, comes Jinnit to DRS. Now he's back in the lead. This time Rek's going to have a look, and he tucks it back in. He was thinking about it. I know it seems insane, but it's probably best for Rek if he waits till the final lap to try and get both of them. Because if he passes one while the other is in front, there's a good chance that that guy is going to get away. And Rek won't win. Where Rek could steal a race win instead of a P. I mean, worst case scenario, he finishes P3. It's not too bad. But if he times it right and does something sneaky right on the last lap, he could potentially win it. If he manages to get, say he gets by Jinnit and Say at the end of the next time they pass the start-finish right here. Big snap for Say. Looks like he saved it. But say Rek manages to get by both of them on lap 27. You know, let's just say he can't just hold it down for that final run. RC's out. So imagine with 1 lap to go, we're not going to have a safety car or anything like that. So RC's out. Looks like he crashed in, I guess it was a Scary, he lost it. But Jinnit hangs on to the lead. It's the final lap, so Say's got to do something really clever if he wants to get this win. He's 3 tenths behind, and there is another DRS zone coming up into Ascari. This could end in tears. I think Rek is just kind of like, hey, you know what? I got P3 locked up. I'm just going to sit here, and if these two take each other out, I'm laughing. Doesn't look like he's ready to push these guys, so just going to tuck in, make sure he brings it home, and maybe he gets lucky and these two run each other off the road. Even if they had a small tangle, he could just kind of scoop by them. But here comes Say into Ascari. Is he going to go for it? He is. He sends it down the inside. Jinnit desperately trying to hang on to that. Oh, and he backs out of it. It was wise from Jinnit to back out of that. Absolutely. Championship on the line. That's a smart decision. Obviously, he'd probably prefer that Say didn't try to overtake him through Ascari. But nice job from those two. Really good battle all race long. So Say wins it. Jinnit will take P2. Wreck Driver with a very, very nice podium finish. Carson probably feels like a little robbed tonight. He probably deserved better. He'll take a P4. Gord will be P5. Sam 6th. Jetchu 7th. Adri will bring it home in 8th. Yep, he jumps Jetchu on the penalty. So Adri gets P7. Jetchu 8th. Sniper 9th. And Villeneuve will finish 10th. RC, I think, did do just enough to get the points. So he'll get a point still. Villeneuve won't count. RC will get the point. And that's it. Show RC7, yeah. He was in a good battle, man. I wanted to, but how can I ignore a top, like a 3-way battle for the lead, right? I gotta stay with that. Been begging for this for years. Yeah, really nice. That was fun. That was a good race. I don't think anything... There was a couple clumsy collisions towards the end that'll probably end up in the steward's room, but I don't think anybody did anything dumb or, like, egregious tonight, so nothing really, no big blemishes in my opinion, but, you know, I'd say 98% of the race was excellent driving, and there was a couple clumsy moves that people probably shouldn't have done or should have backed out of or something like that. But man, Say's move into Ascari to take that win, that was beautiful. I mean, he left enough room for Jinnit. Jinnit was behind as they entered the corner, and he ended up on the outside, and Jinnit was smart to tuck in there. I mean, he could have planted his foot in the ground and taken them both out, but I think Jinnit, yeah, he only lost 6 points to Say tonight. But it's not too bad. You take that home every day, right? So I think Jinnit knows he's probably capable of winning at least a few more races, and he can kind of manage that gap, so... Alright, let's get through the order here. Say, Jinnit, Wreck are the interview guys. We'll get them in. Look at that, it's 9:13. I said 9:12 for the race finish, man. I nailed that. Nailed it. I didn't nail it, but I did a good job. Okay, Say, Jinnit, Wreck. Let's get these guys in. We'll do a quick interview. I'm not even in a party. Damn it, Jinnit. Go online so I don't have to scroll all the way down. I think Wreck I have. Pretty sure. Yep. And let's see, where are you? There he is. There's Wreck, P3 finisher today. I guess we'll just get the interview started right away. I'd like to get this stream wrapped up, so I'll start with you since you're P3. Really, really solid drive today. Took advantage of some opportunities that were presented to you. You were right there at the end, going into those final, 3 or 4 laps. What were you thinking sitting in P3? Were you thinking, I'm not quite quick enough to get ahead of these guys, so I'll just kind of sit here and hope that they open the door for me? Or were you thinking of maybe taking a last lap lunge and going for it?
Well, I'm usually not this quick. Like, for me, this is like a fantastic result. So most of the time I was settling behind, and I saw how unpredictable the race was so far. There was a lot of people spinning. There was quite a few DNFs as well. So I was kind of in my mind hoping potentially something could happen, and I was just going to sit behind because I knew I had the pace if I could stay in DRS. But if I went for something stupid and ended up falling out of the DRS, I thought I would start to fall behind. So I was my main goal was to stay within DRS. Hopefully something can happen. I can take advantage of it. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. It was very, 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 very fun to be up at the top.
What's going on? Sausages.
Ah, that's funny. I made sausages for dinner. So
yeah, you had a few bangers in the mouth. Yeah,
I love me some bangers in the mouth. They're Italian sausages. Love a big meaty Italian sausage in my mouth.
A salami in the mouth.
Yeah. Well, it was Monza, right? It makes sense. I didn't even realize. Yeah. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. But yeah, Wreck, really, really nice drive, and like you said, I think it was smart because you said, you're not normally in that position, so it was kind of just like, I noticed on the last lap you were thinking, all right, I'm going to let these two take care of it, I'm just going to bring home my podium, and if they mess up, I'm right here, but I don't want to be sticking my nose in anywhere, so nice job, Wreck. Say, are you here yet?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, perfect. Oh, sorry, Jinnit was P2. Never mind. We go to Jinnit next. So, Jinnit, last lap, pass into Ascari. I mean, I think you did everything you could have in that corner without ending both of your races. So,
I feel like I was wanted a bit of space on the exit of the first part of the scoring. I was still there.
Yeah, it was a weird spot. It was a weird spot, but it looked like you definitely got squeezed, I would say. I don't know if it's like illegal squeezing. I thought Say left just enough room, but it basically you put the onus on you to back out of that. Otherwise, it was probably going to end in tears for both of you, right? So
if I had to back out, that means there wasn't space for both of us. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it, like.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I said to say, if it wasn't the last lap, I wouldn't have defended. But because it was the last lap, I've got to defend.
Yeah, you can't just let him scoot right through. Yeah. No. I think it was. I don't know. It was like one of those things. Like in the moment, didn't look too bad. Like you said, probably deserve a bit more space. But I think you did the smart thing, like thinking like a champion, where you're like, nah, I'll take my 6-point deficit rather than get 0 and. Yeah.
5.
Well, 5. No. 25 and 19. So that's what? That's still 6.
That's 6. Nah, yeah. We'll say 4 now. We'll say 4 now. We'll give me some extra points.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, no, and then there was a couple other incidents earlier in the race that, like, the stream, a couple people in the chat were like, is he driving too aggressive? And I was like, I don't think he really did anything wrong. I would say he was like not just letting people waltz by him.
The Carson one going into T1, he was there, but I had much more top speed and I pulled away, and I had white arrows, so I went to defend the inside. But he was still there, so I shit myself and pulled instantly back to the left.
Yeah.
So,
so what happened, I guess in like one of the guys in the chat was in a party with Carson, and he said that Carson missed his braking point, so he pulled out rather than try to... I guess he pulled out to the side to try and like give himself some time to get it fixed rather than just slam into the back of you. But so that was why, because it looked poor from what I saw. I was like, oh, that's a poor move, and Carson's not like that. So
Carson said he missed his braking point, like, and
exactly. So, and then there was a couple others where wheel to wheel banging wheels with guys through chicanes, and I said on the stream, it's like if you're going wheel to wheel with guys in chicanes, man, someone's gonna get bumped here and there. Like, it's just, they're not corners that are made for like wheel to wheel racing, right? So, yeah, I thought it was a really good race, and I think you were smart at the end there not to do anything stupid. Take away 19 points that you could use right now, because you got a pretty nice cushion on the two guys right behind you, and you only lost a little bit of ground tonight, and you got plenty of time to make up for that. So it's good drive, smart moves. It was a lot of fun, honestly, watching you guys fight for a win all night. But it was one of the better races of the season so far, I think. Shame GP wasn't here to watch it, because I think he would have enjoyed that one. But we'll move on. The last guy. You got any final thoughts there, Janet, before we move on, or?
Just one of those sweaty races where safety cars ruined it for some people, and it brought me back into the race. Like, that last safety car just helped me a lot. Yeah,
definitely helped. Helped a couple people. Like Zem, it brought Zem back, but then Zem ended up DNF anyway, so that kind of sucked. But he had a rough night out there. Move on to Say. Say wins the race. Another really good performance. It looks like pace-wise, you're probably the quickest guy out there on one lap pace. Pretty much every time we qualify or you're in qualifying, you seem to get yourself on pole position. So the pace is there. Yeah, the pace is there, but the race pace it's a little more balanced, which is good for us. Obviously, we would rather. Is someone typing? It's like super loud.
It's all right.
No problem. All right. It was like so loud. I was like, I have to say something because I can't talk over this. But yeah, really, really quick with the one lap pace, and then the race pace is sort of. I mean, it's still obviously quick, but it's not. It's not quite enough to just pull away every week. I mean, tonight was a weird one. Yeah, tonight was more of a balanced race for you, but generally I find, I've said it a few times, where it's like, if you get in front, if you start at the front and no one gets you in the first lap or two, like, you usually scamper off and you're gone. So is that just sort of a track thing tonight, or maybe the DRS was really powerful behind, or?
Slipstream and DRS is just a killer combo. It's You could ask anybody on the grid tonight. The ERS and the clipstream is just absolutely broken.
Yeah, it's like too strong almost.
It's too strong. It's kind of borderline, almost like a power-up speed boost.
Right. I mean, a lot of people are running low wing probably as well because of the nature of the track, right? So.
If you saw my turn 1 moves, like they don't be alongside when I enter. Like, that's how crazy the ERS is.
Yeah, so I just want to ask you just about the end of the race there. So kind of swapping back and forth. Jinnit, preparing for that final lap, Jinnit was able to cover you off as we started lap 27 into turn 1. Did you think you were pretty much stuck for P2 at that point? Or was it like what happened that allowed the opportunity there? Was that like a strategic move where you saved some battery and decided to attack near the end, or did Jinnit make a little mistake and kind of open the door for you and you just took advantage of that?
I mean, I definitely saved up the battery for that final lap. The plan was to try to get him to turn 1, but a pretty terrible lap 26 didn't allow that. But I think I got a really good sector 1 over Jinnit, and slightly better Lesmos that allowed me to get close to that second DRS zone. And
right.
I think it's really the only opportunity on the track to make an overtake. And if you know anything about overtaking at a start, you're going to end badly. So I knew the risk, but if you want to win, you just got to take a chance. And I feel like I did the most I could to not avoid a collision, but again, the tire rubbing mechanics in this game is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it looked like you, like by the point where Jinnit was saying he probably deserved more room, your car was pretty far ahead. Like, you had that slight edge. So to me, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, well, he's the car ahead in a tricky corner. You can't expect him to back out, right? So Jinnit needs to back out, but also like Jinnit's of course going to say, I should have got more room, right? That's just the nature.
I can't back out at that speed. I mean, I feel like it's one of those incidents where, like, yeah, something could have been done to be avoided, but then again, it's racing. Like, these things happen. Which, respect to Jinnit, like, he did fair play. He took it well, I guess.
Yeah,
he's not happy about it. Like, I understand his frustration. If I was in that situation, I obviously wouldn't be happy, but I think both POVs are required. But I feel like I did the most I could to, give him room. I took as much curb as I possibly could without exceeding track limits. And, just the nature of that corner.
Yeah, I agree. To me, that's like, there was probably two incidents tonight where I would go, yeah, that person's getting a penalty. And then everything else that was wheel to wheel where there was, not quite enough room left, or maybe someone got bumped into somebody, or like all that other stuff was kind of like, well, this is circumstances of this racetrack and the position that each car was in. Like, I don't think that there was no like poor racing tonight. Like, nobody did anything bad other than like mistakes, So yeah, I think everybody's pretty good. I think you'd have a hard time giving you a penalty and taking a race win away for an incident like that. But obviously, like you said, we got to look at it from all angles and get a better view and then make that decision, right? So, that's it for interviews. Thanks to you guys for stepping in. Next week, we're off we're not leaving, actually. We're staying in Italy. And we're just traveling down the road to Imola. So we will be in Imola next week, Monday night, 8 p.m. for Tier 1 Round 5. And Round 4 of Tier 2 will go Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And they will be at Monza as well. All right. We'll wrap up the stream, and we will see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks for the stream.
Cheers. Got to go eat some dinner.